In this episode of Toast with Ty, I'm cooking fried oyster black spaghetti. The black pasta is silky in texture with a unique taste, and it pairs perfectly with the lemony and light wine garlic sauce. And we top it all off with fresh fried oysters. All right, let's get started with getting our aromatics in the pot. I already have some butter melted down. So to that, I'm gonna add shallot, garlic, bay leaf, and a little bit of red pepper. Give that a stir for about a minute, let everything sweat out. I am so excited about this dish because it is like the ultimate luxury dish for New Year's Eve. You have black spaghetti, which is something you don't see often, with fried oysters, and we're gonna pair it with a delicious champagne, perfect for ringing in the new year. We can already start to smell the garlic and the shallots, so now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of white wine. We're using a Chardonnay, which you can't always cook with Chardonnay because it's a little sweeter, but here with the dish with the mix of the miso and the cream cheese and the black squid ink spaghetti, it really does help to bring all the flavors together. Just a little bit, but I guarantee you'll taste it. Okay, our wine's reduced, so let's go ahead and add the rest of our liquid. Have our heavy cream, which is really gonna give us that creaminess to the dish, and a little bit of stock. So we'll let that come together. We wanna let it get to a little bit of a boil. But while it's doing that, I am gonna add just a smidge of grainy mustard because, I mean, it is the perfect complement to oysters. Just a little bit. All right, now let's let this do its thing. It's not gonna take long to come to a boil, but we definitely wanna let it do its thing on its own. Okay, so now that this is boiling, we're gonna add in a couple of things that's gonna help to thicken up the sauce. So we have a little bit of cream cheese. And we also have some white miso. I love white miso. It adds a really great umami flavor to this dish. It's a perfect pair with the oysters, and a little bit goes a long way. And I'm sure you've noticed I haven't added any salt into the dish, and that is because miso is pretty salty on its own. So we're gonna let it season the pasta sauce as is, and we'll give it a taste and see if we need to add extra salt, but I'm pretty sure we won't need to. So we're just gonna kind of stab this in until everything is dissolved into the sauce, and you'll notice that it starts to thicken. Now that our pasta sauce is at a really good consistency, I'm going to fish out the bay leaf, and then we can add in our squid ink black spaghetti, which I've cooked earlier. I love using black spaghetti. It's not something that happens often, but when I do, it just really gives me kind of this exclusive feeling, like I'm eating a very luxurious, exclusive dish. So I think that's the perfect way to end the year. Treating yourself to a luxury dish along with some champagne. And then just make sure we give it a good toss so that our pasta sauce is coating all of the noodles. All right, and the spaghetti part of our dish is done. So I'm just gonna put a lid on it, and then we can get started on our fried oysters. Okay, so our oysters have been marinating in buttermilk for 30 minutes, and what I love about seafood in general is that it does not take long to marinate them at all. An hour tops, it absorbs the flavor very quickly. And of course, because my family is from Florida, I absolutely love seafood. Anytime I cook seafood, it just makes me so happy. So I am super excited about this dish because I get to have seafood and I get to have fried seafood. That's probably my favorite. So what we're gonna do is drain out these oysters from the buttermilk, and we're gonna wanna give them a really good pat down because we want to get rid of as much excess liquid as possible, just so that we're not getting popped by the oil. I know we've all been there. I'm not trying to have that happen to you now, so make sure you pat it down. Okay. And now that we have those in a good place, we are going to coat them in our breading and fry them up. So as you can tell, I love to fry fish because I've already got my breading in a mason jar ready to go. Don't worry, all the details for what's in this breading is in my recipe at ashleyty.com, along with all the steps you need to make this on your own. Go ahead and add the oysters in. Do another layer on top just to make sure we get them coated well. Add in the rest, and then we'll give it a good shake. Let's close this up, get the air out as much as possible. This reminds me of my childhood so much. Every time I saw my mom with a bag that was filled with cornmeal and all of her special seasonings, I knew it was about to go down. She was gonna fry some chicken or fry some catfish, and we were eating good that night. All right, so I think we've got this well coated, so let's go over to the fryer and get these things popping. All right, now that we've got our oysters breaded, we're gonna go ahead and put them in our hot oil to fry them up and get them crispy. So the color is starting to turn nice and golden brown on these. They're almost done. When they're finished, I'm gonna take them out, drain them on the paper towel, and then we can go over to the counter and start to plate our luxurious fried oyster black spaghetti. Goodness, they smell so good. And I can tell they're gonna be super crispy, especially this big boy over here. All right, let's go. It smells so good in here. I cannot wait to dive in. I was thinking about the first time I had squid ink spaghetti, and it was actually at a friend's birthday dinner. I saw it on the menu. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but that first bite was literally life-changing, to the point where I was trying to figure out how can I incorporate squid ink spaghetti into my recipes at home. So I'm really excited to be bringing this dish to you guys. Top it with our fried oysters, which are super crispy. A little bit of parsley on top. And of course, with seafood, you always need some lemon juice. Perfect. Oh, this looks so good. I can't wait to dig in. But first, it's New Year's Eve. Let's turn up. I've got my champagne right here, which is a perfect pairing to this dish. Oysters and champagne go together like lovers and friends. Get the bottle open, and then we can dig into the dish. It's a party! I love that sound, as always. Okay, now I'm ready to give it a real try. Piece of the oyster. Spaghetti. Oh, did you hear that crunch? This is so good. You have the creaminess and the pasta, but you also have a little bit of that umami flavor from the miso that we added in. Then you get a little bit of the delicateness from the black squid ink spaghetti. And of course, you get the saltiness and the crunch from the oysters. Absolutely amazing. And then the champagne adds just like an extra note at the end. Everything just is working well together. And that's exactly what we want for the last dish that we're gonna eat for the year. Because you wanna start the new year off on a good foot. This is definitely gonna help you do it. So don't forget, all of my recipes can be found on ashleyty.com. And until next time, cheers and Happy New Year.